You're listening to Ask the Vet from Roundwood Vets. Your pet health questions answered by our expert, Dr. Hannah Parkin. Alright, so welcome. This is the Ask the Vet podcast. I'm Dr. Dave Nichol.
And I'm Dr. Hannah Parkin.
I thought you forgot your name for a second. First one, working out the kinks. We're kind of in this, downlit room, which is also our exam room. You're not even getting, the really pretty bit of the room. Check this out. I've got a nice green wall. I've got a beautiful picture of the doggy up here. Roundwood Vets look after their clients and make an impression. Not that you would think it, because we're doing it against the back wall, although we do have some green in the corner now. So the purpose of this podcast and this YouTube show is to answer your questions. You, dear pet owners, ask the questions, and I'm going to host, and Dr. Hannah here is going to answer the questions.
Happy to answer your questions.
Happy to answer the questions. So we put this out on our Facebook page, on our Instagram page, on our email list. If you've got burning pet questions that are driving you mad, then please ask them. Do we care how daft they are? How ridiculous?
No, we love a stupid question.
The more stupid, the better the question. So fire them into us, and we've been fortunate to receive a couple of questions. So basically, we're going to do one of these every episode, and then if you guys like this, then let us know that, and then we'll increase the frequency. But we can only increase the frequency if you increase the questions. Got it? That's how we're going to roll. So, Hannah, you're going to love the first one. I'm going to start with the best one, right?
Oh, go on.
Why does my dog eat other dogs' poo?
Ooh, now that's a question that I hear a lot in the consulting room.
That's a beauty. Nobody wants to get that question first up, do they? Nobody wants that dog first up, do they? It's yeah, my dog ate my poo and I'm going to lick your face. So, why does that happen, Dr. Hannah?
Okay, so, that's really a common question that I'm hearing in here. Why does my dog eat its own poo? Why does my dog eat other dogs' poo?
Even more gross! Other dogs... I'm not sure which is more gross. Actually, I think they're both equally gross, aren't they? I'm even sorry I said that.
So, we need to look at the motivation of the dog and why the dog's doing this. And there are medical reasons and there are behavioural reasons. And that is something we need to explore on a one-on-one basis with that individual. But just to sort of pick one scenario. So today we're talking about a dog. We know he's on a good diet. We know his parasite control is up to speed. And he's still going around eating other dogs' poo.
He's just a gross bag.
He's possibly just a gross bag, but possibly you could be making it worse. Okay. So when your dog goes sniffing, exploring, checking out that poo, then you go chasing after him and make a massive big deal about that, and you try and get that poo out of the way, then your dog is going to turn this into a game, and that exploration is going to turn into, oh, this is fun, this is interesting.
Oh no. So unwittingly you're making it into a game, and the dog's awesome, I can eat my own poo, it drives my owner wild, I get more attention. Is that the deal?
And there's quite a few other reasons.
That's messed up. That's messed up. Dogs think like that?
So yeah, you want to rule out any medical causes, and we can do that in the consulting room, no problem. And then we need to look at both yours and the dog's behaviour to try and prevent this.
What medical problems might cause a dog to eat its own poo? That's hard to fathom, right?
So yeah, sure. We see a lot less of it now, but dietary deficiencies can result in dogs can cause dogs to eat their own poo if they're feeding
not enough poo in their diet. They have to top up with poo from extraneous locations. So
basically, gut diseases caused by poor nutrition. If we get any kind of bacterial overgrowth, or we get any sort of bleeding in the guts, then instinctively that dog can go chasing after other dogs' poo in order
So it's not absorbing nutrition itself. Would that dog eat other things to try and make up for any loss of if it's bleeding, it's losing protein in its gut and stuff like that? Would it eat anything else, or is it just a poo fetish?
So that dog is looking at eating some strange things. We're getting some compulsive behaviours, eating things that we shouldn't, and that is an indication that dog's looking for something that's missing in its diet.
God, and it just goes to poo, who knew? Gross. what other things could cause it? Anything else that causes them to eat poo? Like, so us making a game out of it, the dog having like a deficiency of some kind.
And, and to some degree, it can be a normal exploratory behaviour.
Oh, like my dog, it's just normal for it to eat poo.
Yeah, so I don't want to say that's normal until I've seen your dog and I've checked this out, okay? But definitely in young puppies who are adventurous and they're exploring, then definitely...
Thank God, like, children aren't like puppies. That would totally gross me out. So, like, puppies will do this as exploring their world and not necessarily... It's not weird, it's just kind of normal doggy behaviour.
Absolutely, it can be.
Oh man! So think about that the next time Fido is licking your face, or someone else's Fido. Maybe it's a poo licker, and it licks your face. That's super
and
gross.
And now you're talking about licking faces and smelling breath, and that's a whole different podcast.
That's a whole other podcast. But maybe a question for another time. So answer me this, because they all sound like. Not good reasons, but like totally gross reasons, but I can totally believe those reasons. But I can also imagine that's not helping the poor pet owner that's got an animal suffering with this particular problem. How does, what should a pet owner do in order to try and stop or live with their pet's poo munching issue?
Okay, so most importantly, we want to be aware of the things that dog could be catching from eating another dog's poo. Okay, so we want to make sure that our intestinal parasites are protected against, that we're using good worming protocols to make sure that we're not spreading things around by eating poo. On a more individual basis...
Not just bad manners.
On a more individual basis, I would talk to an owner and try and work out a little bit more about that dog's motivation, and then we can address it as a behavioural issue.
Got it. We shouldn't get... I'm sure this drives pet owners nuts. Like if they've got a dog that does this, it would be really awful for the dog owner. But it's hard not to sort of giggle about it as a problem as well. So try it. So. What about animals that have got a medical issue?
I can see it's a frustrating issue for dog owners. It's not nice to watch your dog eating other dog's poo. There are some health implications, but largely it doesn't cause many major problems.
If it's a dog that has a medical problem, so that was like the second category of animal you mentioned there. What kind of so let's say the pet owner worms their dog, make sure they're not getting anything gross from it. But what about the pet owner that's worried? Is there anything else that would be happening with those dogs that would be a clue that this isn't behavioural? Like, is there a time in life, or is there a set of symptoms that would go alongside it that a pet owner should be going, actually, this is something I really need to get checked out?
To be honest, any other change in behaviour in that animal. So I'm particularly concerned about young animals, and I'm particularly concerned about our older animals in this situation. Okay. We're looking at any signs, any animal that's anemic, we may start to see these strange behaviours of licking or eating weird things. But anything at all that seems out of the ordinary for a pet, or slowing down, behaving oddly, anything like that needs to be looked at, and perhaps that eating of another dog's poo is more significant than we realise in those cases.
Okay, all right. So if in doubt, get it checked out.
If in doubt.
Let's have your 3 takeaway tips. Let's just wrap this up. Your 3 poo prevention protocol points. Dr. Hannah's poo prevention protocol points. What are your 3?
Number 1, come to puppy school. Honestly,
get trained.
Come to puppy school. You need to be trained as well as the dog. We can learn about that behaviour a little bit more detail, and we can practice the techniques to prevent it. Number 2, talk to your vet. If that's not something your dog's ever done before and it's suddenly started doing it, then there's definitely going to be a reason for that, and that needs to be explored. And number 3, if this is a real problem, while we're addressing it, we probably want to consider making sure that your dog's kept on a leash, and that we are not allowing too much eating of other dogs' poo.
How much is too much eating of another dog's poo? There you have it, folks. Dr. Hannah's 3 poo prevention protocol points. Thank you very much, Dr. Hannah Parkin of Roundwood Vets. It's been an entertaining conversation. Well, I've had fun. I don't know if you've had fun.
Next question, please.
Next question. Next podcast, please. All right, we will be back with another episode of Ask the Vet. If you want to send in your questions, then hit us up on Instagram. It's Roundwood Vets. So it's Instagram.com/Roundwood Vets.
That's us.
It's Facebook.com/Roundwood Vet. Singular. There's no S on the end of that. And we would love to hear your questions. Or you can email them in. Email them to hello@roundwoodvets.co.uk. I'm Dr. Dave Nichol. It's Dr. Hannah Parkin. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening if you're on the podcast. And we will talk to you again soon. See you later.